Assassin Creed Odyssey greatly expands upon the RPG stylings of its predecessor. Not only is the game's world much bigger, but there's a wealth of new mechanics and systems in place to play with. Dialogue choices give you more freedom to guide the direction of your journey in subtle yet meaningful ways. A territory system has you aligning yourself with the competing powers of the Peloponnesian War to carve out the land, and this is in addition to the variety of improvements that have been made to pre-existing systems from Origins. If you're a returning Origins player or a newcomer entirely, a lot of the new features and mechanics may perplex you. To help give you more clarity over all the new systems in Odyssey, we've gathered 11 tips that should help you become the best Spartan mercenary / proto-assassin you can be. This isn't so much a tip as a strong recommendation. One of the most meaningful features added into Odyssey is Exploration Mode, a navigation option that strips away markers and quest objectives, forcing you to rely on your investigative and observation skills instead. The mode offers a more challenging experience that's well worth the effort. Assassin Creed Odyssey has some great side quests that offer stories that range from tense and serious to funny and lighthearted.
If you can bring me some bear scrotum and a deer tongue...
Oh, is that all you need?
Some even tie back into the main narrative. With so much content in Odyssey, you might be wondering which side quests are worth your time. You'll find two types of quests in the world. First are quests indicated on the map by these gold and black diamonds. These are the major side quests that are the most involved and in our experience are always worth your time. The other kinds of quests are much smaller, usually consisting of a simple task. You can find these on the map with white and black diamond markers or at the message/bounty boards. The quality of these quests vary, with some fun small objectives like defending a philosopher and others being noticeably lame, like this one where you just need to walk a couple of 100 meters and talk to an NPC to complete it. If you're the kind of person who isn't interested in doing everything possible and just wants to see the good stuff, we recommend avoiding these smaller quests completely and only doing the major side quests with the gold and black markers. Weapons and armor play an even greater role in Odyssey, allowing you to customize your look. There are several ways to get awesome new gear. Completing major side quests is a pretty straightforward option, and the quest menu even shows what reward you will earn. Mercenaries are another great way to earn loot. You can check the Mercenaries menu to see a detailed description of the loot each has, and then track the one you want to find. This is the most reliable way to search for something specific. There are also conquest battles, which reward you with a random piece of epic loot. If you find a piece of armor that has stats you like, or just looks cool, you can always upgrade it at a blacksmith, bringing it up to your current level. This is an awesome way to ensure legendary gear you get early on remains viable in the late game. You can even enhance gear further with engravings, which give you bonuses like increased damage against certain enemy types or boosts to specific abilities. The best way to find engravings are from the puzzle tablets that contain riddles on them, similar to Origins' papyrus puzzles. Following the clues to the treasure rewards you with a new engraving. Engravings can then be upgraded by completing an associated goal or challenge, so keep an eye on those to maximize their potential. Engravings aren't just one-time use items either, so don't worry about saving one for later and just put it on. You can also swap engravings whenever you want, but it will cost you a small fee. If you're the sort of person who likes to pick up everything that comes your way, you're liable to start stockpiling weapons and armor really quickly. Don't hold on to that stuff. Make sure to break it down for resources in the inventory menu or to visit merchants to sell them for a reasonable profit. You never want to be hoarding items, as you'll need the money and resources from selling or dismantling to better your current loadout and ship. You'll also accumulate a bunch of items that serve no purpose other than to be sold at a shop. Make sure to offload these under the option of Sell All Trade Goods in the Sell menu. Unlike Origins, Odyssey allows you to acquire and swap abilities. If you're looking for some suggestions, we've got them. Shield enemies can be a real pain in a large fight, so pick up Shield Breaker, which lets you rip their shields off and hit them with it for damage. If you want to take care of captains or enemies with large health bars quickly, get Hero Strike, which uses the damage statistic normally used for assassin attacks. If you prefer the stealthy approach though, Rush Assassination lets you break the laws of physics by throwing your spear and then basically teleporting next to your target. You can also chain this attack, making it a handy way to take out a base in a quiet and efficient manner. Critical assassination is also key as it lets you deal more damage, allowing you to assassinate high-level enemies. Finally, you should get the Spartan kick, which is perfect for knocking enemies off cliffs or walls and is also just really fun.
This has been quite profitable.
Being able to respec at any time is a useful new feature that lets you experiment with different character builds. So if at any moment you think you've dumped too many points into one category over another, simply hold down the left stick in the skills menu to reallocate all the points you've earned thus far. Collecting resources and materials is a major component of Odyssey. You need them to upgrade your equipment and ship. Thankfully, it's not much of a headache to collect these resources. For starters, you always want to dismantle unused equipment for materials. You also have the option to sell equipment to vendors, but the resources are much more valuable than the money, which you'll still earn in other ways. You'll find common resources like wood in forests and iron in caves, but if you really need more, vendors will also sell them. A hot tip is to always loot war supplies before you burn them in an enemy camp. These carry large quantities of materials and you don't want to miss out on them. As a mercenary, you are a soldier for hire in the war between Sparta and Athens, and can use this to your advantage. Every region is controlled by one of the two factions. You'll first need to lower the occupying nation's grip by burning war supplies, pillaging nation chests, killing their soldiers, and assassinating their leader. Once you've lowered the meter enough, a conquest battle becomes available. You can then fight for either side by visiting their camp. Yes, you can side with the army whose supplies you just spent the last few hours burning down. I guess they're a forgiving bunch. Siding with the defending army presents you one piece of epic gear, while siding with the invading army nets you 2 pieces of epic gear. But the battle will be tougher. In our experience, it's always worth siding with the invading army for that extra loot. When participating in the battle itself, always keep an eye out on the 2 meters up top and make sure you're staying ahead. It's best to ignore the basic soldiers and focus on the captains and hero units who show up, since eliminating them is the quickest way to win. Because of how easily multiple soldiers can overwhelm you, it's a good idea to pick abilities that deal damage to multiple enemies at once, such as Rain of Destruction. Our final tip is not to wait too long to start the conquest battle once it's available, as the opportunity can be lost if you wait too long. Thankfully, you can repeat this process in a region as many times as you want, keeping the war going forever and your inventory filled with loot. If you're a traditional Assassin's Creed player, chances are you might not notice that there are manual and quick save options in Odyssey. Given the more pivotal choices you'll make as the game progresses, you may want to backpedal a few times. Fortunately, the game is not too brutal when it comes to autosaves, but make sure to utilize this feature in order to give yourself a proper backup plan when events go south on account of a horrible decision you made. Like Origins, you can advance time of day by simply holding the map button. Previously, this was an ability you had to acquire via the skill tree, but you're given it early on this time around without having to spend a skill point. Though the game doesn't make a big show of it, so you might not even notice it's there. Regardless, advancing time is handy when you want to attack camps at night, since the majority of guards tend to sleep around that time, making it easier for you to sneak about. And that's all the tips to get you started in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Make sure to check out our full review and all of our other Assassin's Creed features, and have yourself a good day.